Awesome. And it is recording. And good morning, everybody. All right. Brandy, how are you? You good?
Good. How are you?
Good. Got that smile going. Got a coffee ready.
Ready to go.
Right. It was so funny. I'm in a hotel right now in Indianapolis, and I was downstairs in the lobby, and the lady that is serving like breakfast, she and I chatted yesterday, and I ordered coffee this morning, and it was not like a minute after ordering it, she runs back to the back and she's like, "Where is this lady's coffee?" And I'm like, I don't need it that bad. She's like, "No, it's my daughter, and you have twins. You need some caffeine. I'm sure you do."
Aw.
I was cracking up, but it's a good day. It's a good day, despite the weather. So
Yes.
I know, right? Okay, so we have 16 on so far. Seems like not too many. Do you want to maybe wait one more minute?
Yeah, maybe one more minute, just because I know we had some stragglers register.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna shut down my apps. My boss is texting me, which comes through on my computer, so I'm gonna do not disturb that. Sorry, boss. We'll chat later.
I get notifications when I'm supposed to do my walkabout, so that just popped up. I'm like, I can't do that.
I'm busy. You know what? That might be a fun Zoom call. Can you just walk us around the office while I'm chatting?
You get to see a very in detail of the snow and our work and space options.
Oh, speaking of that, like you remember on the last call, somebody had asked about their old Facebook page versus the new version. So I got an email, I think it was yesterday morning. They are not allowing people to use their old Facebook pages anymore. So,
dang. So she is gonna have to start new.
Yeah, if it's converted to the new version, she cannot go back to the old. But if she can't access her page, I would say just start anew for sure. But yeah, the new version of the Facebook business pages are permanent. You can't kind of revert back to that old version. Which I actually think the newer version is more intuitive, so that's a good thing.
But it is. I mean, it's a little more streamlined and it has more info. I remember whenever they first changed, though, I was really upset about it. But that's kind of in general, whenever social media makes a change I'm not ready for, I'm like, why?
Yeah. Well, usually, so we have to remember, usually they make changes because they've gotten feedback. And one thing that I didn't know for a very long time was Facebook actually has like verticals that they consult with. So in real estate, they have real estate consultants that work in the field of real estate, not just realtors, but people who do real estate ads, title companies, lenders, all of that stuff that work in the field of real estate that they consult with. And they do that across all industries. So when they're consulting with all of these different businesses, and they tend to consult with businesses that are really large and are doing a massive amount of volume, they get feedback from these businesses, and the businesses say, "Hey, this would be nice to have," or "This would be nice to be better," or whatever it is. So normally when they change something so significantly like that, it's because the field has requested that the changes happen. So it's not just like Facebook's changing things on a whim. They're actually doing it to make a better experience for the people that are giving them feedback.
Which makes sense. Which, I mean, is hopefully the goal.
Hopefully. Yeah. And like, hopefully user experience gets better and all that stuff. We just don't love change. So it's hard, but if you can jump on those changes when you are on your Facebook business pages, and the Facebook business page is really good at prompting you if something's changed to address it. So usually when you go to your Facebook business page, it's going to have some sort of like notification. You're going to notice it. Sometimes it's a completion bar or an update or whatever it is. It's going to prompt you to update your page. So let's, are you okay to get started?
Yeah, I think so. So, first of all, thank you everyone who's attending for joining us for this class. I hope you were able to attend the first one. If not, we do have a recording available. Just reach out to me and I can send it over to you. It is in our video vault on our website, so feel free to browse that and see what we've got good for you. I'm here with Allie and Megan from WFG, and of course Brandy, the beautiful owner of Universal Settlement Services here. and Allie's going to be leading the discussion on Facebook, getting back to basics, our sort of part 2 on just keeping yourself active on there and some best practices.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlin, and thank you, Brandy. We appreciate you both so very much. You're literally one of the best and easiest teams to work with as far as communication and having all of your ducks in order. If you guys are looking for a team that literally does not miss a step in anything that they do on our end, like, it is unprecedented. So I cannot imagine what it would be like on your end. So definitely, if you have not given them a try, please do so, because they are incredible. I could go on forever about that, but I want to jump in and get started. Again, my name is Allie Flath. I'm with My Home, which is actually the marketing and technology arm of Williston Financial Group, which is a subsidiary of the WFG National Title family. So we work directly with Universal to underwrite your files, make sure that they're on the up and up, and we can insure them. And I just come in and I consult with them and you guys on technology, marketing, and what's trending in our space today. So let's jump in. As we go about the class, if you have questions, throw them into the Q&A, and I'll have Caitlin jump in and stop me if I don't see them, to ask you that specific question. And if she already knows the answer to it, she might type it in and just answer it for you as well. So let's go. Let me share my screen. Look at my little munchkin. Okay, so I am on my actual personal Facebook page right now, and I wanted to show you all how to get to that space where you're going to either create a new page, or maybe you already have a page. So if you are looking to create a new page, you can go to this Facebook icon in the left-hand corner and go to Pages, and then hit Create New Page. And this is where you would start creation of that brand new page, where you would add your page name, you would add your category, meaning real estate, and then some sort of bio about you. This is a great space where you can take it from, you know, your website or your LinkedIn profile or whatever it is, a bio about what you do, where you focus on, maybe a niche that you work on, or an area that you work in. That would be great too. But this is how you would start to create a page. Super easy. So at your home page, so again, this is my personal page. Like if I'm in my feed or if I'm on my profile, it doesn't matter. I can go to that upper left-hand Facebook symbol, go to Pages, and hit Create New Page. It's the easiest way to get started on creating a business page. You have to have a personal page to create a business page. Okay, you have to have a personal Facebook page to create a business page. A couple of things about business pages. One, there is no natural sort of organic reach that your business page is going to ever have. They took that away a while ago. If you want any sort of reach on a business page, you're going to have to pay for it. So you're going to have to do some paid ads. But I still think it's very important to have a business page. One, it shows professionalism. Two, if people do search you on Google and you have some sort of reviews on your Facebook business page, that will show up on that Google search, which helps with your search engine optimization and just reputation in the marketplace. But I urge you to have a page, because in the case that one day you do decide to run some Facebook ads, maybe around a listing or, you know, branding ads or whatever that is, you have something set up with content ready to go. So I'm going to kind of jump to a page that I created, but not really developed out. I want to just show you, once you hit that create new page and you fill out the basics of stuff like that, or of that page, what you're going to see is, I don't want to review changes to my page. What you're going to see is something as simple as this. So what you're going to notice is I put in a cover photo and a profile picture. I added my intro and my contact information, but other than that, I have done nothing to this page. Okay. If I didn't add any of these photos, it would just be a blank spot, and it would prompt me to edit my cover photo, and it would prompt me to edit my profile picture. And that's what these little cameras are for. So if you needed to edit or upload or choose a different like Facebook cover photo, you could do that here. The fun part about this is if you're like, well, how do I get a Facebook cover photo? You can go into your Canva account, you can type in Facebook cover templates in this search bar, and it will bring up a ton of different templates that you can edit for your own business, add your own personal customization, adding your logo in. This is a great space to add your logo, your brokerage logo, as well as your fair housing realtor logos as well. And making sure that your logo and your brokerage logo are the same size is extremely important for compliance. And this is just a really also easy way to add in that fair housing logo, that realtor logo, that MLS logo, whatever is required by your state board. But I would do that in this space. And if you actually look at how it's set up on the Facebook page, I have most of the area here to put whatever I want. So if I wanted to add that realtor logo down in this space, and maybe I wanted to do a dual photo here of the two logos, I could, or if you have just your brokerage logo that you're running with, you can put that here. That's totally fine. Any questions on the cover photo information? Nope. Okay, cool. Your picture, I always suggest it be a personal picture, like a headshot or something that is personal to you. If you're utilizing your headshot from LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever it is, I like them when they're kind of very similar, or you can at least tell that it's you. I try to use similar photos across the board. I used a little bit of a different one on this one than my personal page because I wanted to just be able to tell that this was my business page. And then you would just change that out here as well. You can add frames, you can create an avatar if you want. Super easy, but I always suggest adding in your profile picture. Another thing that you could do is if you have like really fun closing photos or photos of you inside of like your day-to-day of your real estate life, this is also great to add to a cover photo as well if you can, but it doesn't have to be. You can really add whatever you want as far as your branding and opportunities here. As far as your name goes, so this is a really important spot for your Facebook business page. I always suggest people to utilize the same name that you use on like your Google business profile. So if you Google search you and it comes, I'll just use myself as an example. Let's say I am with like KW. And on my Google business profile, it says Allie Flath, realtor dash KW Realty, or KW, whatever it is. I would want to use that same name in this space. So I want to make sure that it says Allie Flath, realtor dash KW Realty. You want to make it so it's almost the exact same, or it is the exact same across platforms. And the reason that we do that, or the reason that we want to do that, is we want Google to recognize that we are the same business on Facebook as we are on Google, as we are on Instagram, as we are on, LinkedIn. It just makes SEO and the overall picture of our brand really easy for people to recognize, as well as the Google search engines to recognize as well. Just asking, I'm not sure who Robert. Robert, we're in webinar version, so we should not be able to see you. So if you're driving, it's fine, or whatever. Okay, so we have profile picture, cover photo, and name. So if you're going to use a name, utilize the same names that you use across platforms. Okay. And then, okay, so your intro, this is going to be short. You can't use a ton of words in this intro. So this isn't going to be your full bio. It's just going to be a little bit about you. So I said marketing and technology director at my home, connecting title agents to unprecedented solutions. And I can't save. That's going to be a very short intro. You can obviously go into more depth in your about section, which is totally fine. You're going to, when you set up your page, you're going to choose real estate. I chose real estate here, but when you do that initial setup of your page, you're going to choose real estate. You're also going to put in your phone number and your email. If I had any reviews, because this is a new page, I don't have any right now, but if I had any reviews, I could click on this and see all the reviews that anybody has ever left me. If I click edit details, so this is going to be where I'm going to go into more depth of who my business is or what my business is. So I'm going to add my address. I have, my address is actually, my corporate address is in Irvine, California. So I might not actually add my address just to mine, but you definitely would add your brokerage address to this space, okay? This is for compliance reasons, also for area reasons. It's a legitimizes your business. 100% add your address if you can. And then service areas. So you can add, let's say, like I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I can add Powell, Ohio, which is where I live. There's Dublin. Like you can add all the different areas that you service. And that's totally fine. And I 100% suggest you do this because this will also help with SEO and knowing who to put your ads in front of, as well as if somebody is looking for a real estate agent in that specific area, you will be served up to them if they're doing search in like the Facebook search bar because you work in those spaces that they live in. I'm just going to click save on that one. The other things that you'll be prompted to add here is you're going to add a website address. So for me, I always usually add my Linktree page because you can access a bunch of stuff there. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to add my social links if I want to add, you know, my Instagram. That's totally fine. I can add my TikTok. And then hit save, and those will repurpose to those spaces. If I wanted to add Center County, what my office is employees, should I add my address? I currently don't have one since it makes me here non-local. 100% always add your brokerage address for compliance reasons. Your brokerage address for compliance reasons, and then you can add your areas that you work in to your actual service areas. Does that make sense? So brokerage address for compliance regions as far as the address goes, and then service areas can be different than your brokerage address. So if you service, you know, Center County and all the cities surrounding there, I would add all of those in, but your Philly address would be what you would add to your address area for compliance reasons. Hopefully that makes sense. Diversity, you're going to, if you want to add diversity in here, you can, you know, for like Universal, this would be a great space to add woman-owned, stuff like that. It just kind of, some people really prefer to work with different types of members. If you're a veteran-owned would be great. Stuff like that would be awesome to add to your profile if that applies. I would not add my Wi-Fi network name only because I don't have a personal network that people are, you know, open to using, but like if Universal wanted to add their Wi-Fi network name so people could access in their building, totally you could do that. You don't have to. Hours, as real estate agents, you guys are technically always open, but I wouldn't put that. I would put your selected hours and selected days that you guys are comfortable receiving phone calls. That would be very similar to the same times that you have on your Google business profile as well, and click save. It's pretty easy to add those different things. And then also don't forget that if you have holidays that are coming up, vacations that are coming up, whatever that looks like, to update your Google business profile and your Facebook profile for the times that you're available. Hours, price range. This one's kind of weird. And you're in your space, maybe you guys are working in luxury. You could easily put that here. I usually choose not applicable just because like I'm not going to designate what price range you're going to buy in. That's on you. But you could at least put that in there if you do specify a specific area that you work in or price range that you work in. Totally fine. As far as services go, you can add in different type of things like this, but most of us would not add those. So I would leave that out. Language is great. If you're bilingual, you can add that in here. If somebody operates in like, let's say they speak Spanish on their page, they have translation in Spanish, so they might operate in Spanish on their page. If you speak, at that specific language, if you speak Spanish, you could be served up to those communities as well. So make sure if you are bilingual, add your languages in here too. And then it's just going to give me a summary of everything that I've kind of set up. So this is like the basics of your just contact info, basic info, XYZ. Okay. Next, I'm going to move on to privacy and legal information. So adding your privacy policy link. People get really confused about this, but this is super, super important for your kind of like your business page to be recognized as like a true business. So what I usually have agents do is, let's see, I will go to, so this is my company's homepage, and most companies' homepage, so your brokerage, all of that stuff, should have like a privacy policy link. I guess ours doesn't for some reason. I'm gonna yell at them. So, but if you're looking for a privacy policy link to share, I always usually suggest agents to go to their homepage. So if I'm a Keller Williams agent, I can go to this. I go to their website, I go to privacy policy, and then I literally copy that, take it, and add that link into my account. And it really just kind of does that for me. It says, hey, I'm connected to KW, or I'm connected to whatever brokerage that you are working with. And it is super helpful in just recognizing that you are a business page. If you don't have a privacy policy link or a brokerage link for that, if you have your own web page, check for a privacy policy link there, because that's usually somewhere where you're going to find it. But you should be able to find a privacy policy. If for some reason you have a brokerage and yourself and you don't have a privacy policy link between them, contact Caitlin or contact me, and I'll come up with a solution for you as well. For the impressum, it's optional. I actually don't think you really need it. It's more required in like a declaration of ownership in other countries. So you don't really have to have the impressum. So I usually don't talk about the impressum too much. The privacy policy is definitely more important in the US and for search and like ownership confirmation. So work on your privacy policy 100%. Next is workplace. Obviously, you're going to put your place of work. If you have, obviously currently where you're at, if you have past experiences, throw those in. If you want to add your college and high school experiences, you can put those there as well. You don't have to do this. This is great for people that maybe graduated or lived in the areas that they currently work in. It just shows that you have depth of knowledge of the space in the place that you're working in. Totally fine to add that. Totally fine to also leave it out if you want to. Places lived, also same. You can add that. You can add your current city. You don't have to add these things, but you can. As far as page transparency goes, like this is really just a space where if I wanted to look at my ads that I was running, I can go there. This is the cool part, which most people don't know. So if you have a competitor in the marketplace and you want to see what ads they are running on Facebook, you can actually go to their business page, go to their page transparency button, and see if they're running any current ads. And you can look at those ads and say, okay, what are they running? Why are they running them? How often are they running them? When do they post them? How long are they running them for? It's not going to give you results on their ads. It's just going to show you that they're running the ads. So if I used to do this with a lot of my agents, is I would pull heavy listing agents and buyers agents in different markets and kind of just get a window into the world of the ads that they were running. And I'll tell you this, your bigger agents aren't going to run ads if they're not going to work. So usually they have third-party, ad companies or data companies who are running ads for them. So it was a kind of an easy swipe and steal. You're still going to have to build out the ads, but it's a great space for you to at least start on, hey, if I want to start running ads, this is a great space for me to do that. Family and relationships, you can add that here. You don't have to. It's a business, so you don't really need to if you don't want to. Additional information about yourself. Maybe, this could be some more certifications, or if you have a really interesting name and people don't pronounce it right, like my last name is Flath. People say Flath all the time, and I'm like, there's no I in there. It's flat with an H in the end. It's Flath, right? And I can put in a pronunciation there. So if you have a cool name and you want people to not mess it up, that's great. There's a lady on Instagram that I follow. Her name is Giselle. For the longest time, I was saying her last name wrong, and she ended up adding pronunciation to her profile. And it's so cool because now I'm like, every time I go to her page, I say her first and last name together because now I know how to pronounce it and I think it's fun. But that's just me being a nerd. You don't have to use other names here unless you've like recently changed your name and you're known really well by an old name. That's totally fine. Adding your favorite quote. So if something drives you or is super meaningful, this is really great. Life events, you don't have to add life events if you don't want to. So that's kind of about, and really making sure that your profile is as complete as can be. Your address is really important. Those logos, the fair housing, the brokerage, your logo, all of those stuff being clear, concise, and apparent when people go to your page is extremely important. Okay. Your mentions. So if somebody posts about you and mentions you, those posts are going to show up on your mention tab. Reviews. So if I had reviews, those reviews would show up here. One thing that's really important about reviews, no matter where you are. So if you leave a review or somebody leaves you a review on Facebook or somebody leaves you a review on Google, it's really, 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 really important. I can't stress this enough, to respond to every review. If you go back and you say, oh, I have 20 reviews from 3 years ago on my Facebook page, I still say respond to them. And you can kind of curate things, but let's say you get a negative review. People tend to respond to really good reviews, but then they don't respond to negative reviews. And honestly, I actually think responding to negative reviews is so much more effective than positive reviews. And just saying, hey, we care and strive for the best service possible. I am so sorry that you had a negative experience. We'd like to remedy this situation and make sure that nobody has that same experience moving forward. Please call our office at XYZ number. And what that shows is like, you care about your business, you care about your reviews, you care about responses, and you want to remedy and make sure that everybody else's experience moving forward is awesome. It's easy to respond to a good review. It gets a little bit trickier when you want to respond to a negative review because you don't want to also go on the defensive. But that's a quick, easy way to respond to reviews, but respond to every reviews. Followers, anybody that's been following the page or anybody that has liked your page is going to show up in these spaces. Photos is just going to be the photos that you have uploaded to your page. And then all of these other wonderful things here. If you wanted to manage some of these and make them go away or make them show up on the actual tab parts here, you can click manage sections. And like I can remove as many or as few as I'd like. Like I don't want any of these. Perfect. And that's really all that's going to show up for me. From here, I can also get to editing in this space from this edit button over here. I can always edit my about info at any point. If I hit manage is where I'm going to be able to kind of get an overview of the analytics of my page. So how many people are following me? If I've posted, how many people has it reached? How much engagement have I gotten? How many new likes have I gotten? It's going to tell me how complete my page is. So obviously I skipped over a couple of things. So I just need to complete my page here. It's going to show me any recent posts that I've had. It's going to prompt me to do certain things. So right now it's saying I need to connect with more people. Makes sense. And then it's going to give me steps on, what to do as far as completing my actual profile, which is really nice. This is kind of your navigation tool on like managing your page, not like the external stuff, but more of like the internal of, hey, how do I access my analytics? So if I go down here, and I want to look at my analytics solely, I can go and look specifically at my analytics, which is really awesome. Only because this is kind of the space that I'm going to take you to if you and I sit together and go over your content and we're reviewing what's effective, what's not effective, what ads have been great, maybe what original content is reaching people. This is what we're going to look at. This is where you're going to pull in and say, hey, these types of posts are really working well. Let's continue to do more of these. As far as your professional dashboard here, you can also access your ad center. You can go here and, invite friends to like your page. To do that, I have to switch back to my personal profile, which is fine. But it'll prompt you and show you what to do. If you wanted to create events inside of your page, you could totally do that. There's so much that you can do inside of your actual page. And I wanted to kind of show you in this upper right-hand corner what happens when you have multiple pages. So I have multiple pages. Right now, it's telling me that I'm on my business page. In my upper right-hand corner, if I click this button, this is the new feature of the new business page, it will take me back to my most used page, which is my personal page, Allie Flath. So if I click this, it's going to automatically take me back to my personal page. If I manage multiple pages and I click this see all profiles, it's going to show me all the different pages that I manage. If I click on any of these, it'll automatically switch me to that page and to manage that page. If you're looking for like privacy settings or specific things to do with your page, you would go under account and then you would go to your settings and privacy. And you can switch all of those things in this space. You can also add managers to your page or editors to your page if you want in this space. So you're going to work out of you have to make sure you're on the page first, and then you're going to work out of your settings and privacy. If you do need help, actually Facebook has gotten a lot better at creating like tutorials or basics of, hey, here's what you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to the place where you can actually function and execute on a Facebook business page. Okay, so they're pretty good and they're trying to be more accessible to just everyone, essentially. Does anybody have any questions on setting up a business page? Oh, I see one. This might be a silly question, but can you post events that others are hosting, or do they need to be your own events? So if I'm going to, here, I'll show you kind of how I would go about doing that. So if I am going to post somebody else's event, what I would do is I would find the event. So I would go to events. Oh, interesting. Concealed carry weapons class. Let's do that one. Just kidding. So if I was going to post, so this is in my hometown. So if I wanted to post this event to my business page, what I would do is I would go to the event page itself, and I would go to the URL up in this upper corner here. So I would go to the URL and I would copy it, and then I would go back into my actual business profile. And I would post it there. I can't see, hold on. My navigation bar is in the way right now. So, okay, and then I would post the event in the profile. And that's what it populates. It's not populating, so we might have to figure out a different way. It's really weird. Can you invite people to like a business page but not your personal page? Yes. You can no longer share to your business page unless signed in with your personal page, correct? Yeah, but you can no longer actually sign into your business page without a personal page anyways. So likely you're going to be signed in for both at the same time anyways. You're not doing anything wrong. You have to be signed in for your personal page to be able to switch to your business page at this point. And yes, you can invite people to your business page, but not your personal page. The hard part is getting them there. Like it's going to automatically populate your personal group of people. So finding them is not the greatest, but there's other ways to do that as well, where you can invite people to like a business page. I always leverage my other social media platforms to do that as well. So I'm like, hey, like my Facebook page, or find me on Facebook over here on my Instagram, or I add it to my email signature when I'm sending emails out. Email is really good because if you're speaking with somebody back and forth and you really want them to join all of the content that you're sharing on Instagram or Facebook, that's a really good space to do it. As well as if you have any leads or you're texting people, sharing those links to it just to find out a little bit more about you would be great.
Allie, I wanted to touch on the events real quick. So another great way, if you see an event that you really want to support, but you're not actually one of the like hosts of the event, I highly recommend going to the post that that event has shared with the people it's attending and sharing that post on your page. And that's as simple as, going there and then sharing it. If you are a host of an event, there is a way to add it to your page calendar, but I would say that's really only do that if you are definitely making decisions on that event.
Yeah.
Because say for instance, you're like, oh, this is a really cool event, I think it would be neat, and then you add it to your page and then you find out it was a flop or they were sharing information you didn't think they were sharing.
Yep.
That can get a little messy.
Definitely be careful. If it's not your event and you're not hosting it, absolutely. But if it's somebody that that has hosted this event before and it's really great, totally fine. But like if you just wanted to, invite it to a group of friends, that's totally great too. But I would just be careful because it's a lot easier to share your own events than it is to other people's events. If I'm going to share like an event, let's say I want to be like the mayor of my town and I want to share, different events happening this weekend, I would probably share more of a list of what was happening. And then I would also say, if you want more information on any of these events, contact me, because then you can start that conversation instead of giving them the whole kitchen sink on a post and them not having to actually contact you. I would say if you can give them maybe just a little bit of information about each event or what's happening that weekend, great. But make sure that you're not giving the whole kitchen sink away, because we want to make sure that they have a reason to either jump into your DMs or comment on the post and allow you to start those conversations. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Any other questions on the profile setup? Like I truly feel before you start posting anything, before you start doing anything on your professional page, you should have a complete or as complete a profile as you possibly can. You want to look like the most professional human on the planet, okay? And that means when people come in here and they look at all of your things, that you look fabulous. And one of the things that I do suggest is to not look so new. Ask some people for reviews right up front. Like I said, Google's #1 for reviews, but the second one for SEO, it's usually if you have a complete business profile on Facebook, you're going to land either 2 or 3 in the search engine if somebody's searching your name. So it's really important to have a very complete profile on your Facebook business page. Do we have any other questions?
I just want to tack on also your personal page. If you are using your personal page for business, or that's where you find a lot of clients, make sure your about section is completely filled out. There's nothing more tedious than really liking a realtor, really connecting with them, and then going to their Facebook and then getting confused because maybe their brokerage isn't updated. Maybe it's from one they started with a couple of years ago and they just haven't updated it to the most recent one. Or you're trying to find a way to contact them and they're not, that they're not super on Facebook, but you're like, oh, well, I'll go there and I'll grab their contact information, but it's not listed. Of course, always be safe, but if you're in real estate, you have to kind of consider the best options and avenues there.
Totally. And I mean, it's really hard to separate your business life and your personal life in real estate. So I actually think having a business page is really important for those reviews, just like to be very business, right? And then having your personal page be a combination of personal and real estate is also really important. But making sure that just because you have your compliance and your brokerage and your branding on your business page is there, and that's fine. If you're sharing work stuff on your personal page, you need to make sure that you also have compliance in the works. And compliance means accessibility, very transparent on who you work for and what you do. I know, like in the state of California, they require, obviously logos have to be the same size, right? If not, your brokerage logo actually has to be bigger. They have to have the fair housing, the realtor logo, all that stuff. They also have to include their license number. And what the reason that they went that route is because there were so many people complaining to the real estate board about unfair and deceptive practices, but they couldn't report on who it was because they couldn't find their information, or they couldn't get the information that they wanted. So what's happening is we're seeing a lot more compliance on the real estate side to protect the consumer. So just making sure that if somebody wants to contact you, yes, that's great, but we also want to make sure that we're being very transparent about the things that we're doing. One of the trends, I want to say it was last year or the year before, that was coming about, is people wanted to run kind of crappy ads towards consumers. So instead of running them from a personal or from a business page, they created like a separate business page that was like almost like a cover business to run these shadier ads to work around the Facebook algorithm. And I'm like, eek. And they got in trouble for it because you can't do that. You're in housing, you're in real estate, you are held to a higher standard as a realtor. So those are the things that you're going to have to want to take into account when you're working with a platform, just like you would with your own website and making sure that that's in compliance. This is a public platform for your business, and you want to make sure this is in compliance as well. Any questions on just the basic setups of the business page? I'm good. Caitlin, do you have anything else that I could touch on today? It's actually pretty easy to set up a business page. It's really, and the posting and the prompting is going to be the same as a personal page. So, and we went through that last time, which is pretty easy.
Yeah, so long as you know how to post, it's pretty much the same from a personal page to a business page. And if you ever struggle with finding content for that, you can always start with, I recommend, actually, sorry, this is something I just thought of. Use your business page to like relevant pages. Like for instance, on our Universal Settlement Services page, we like the National Association of Realtors. We like Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. And that's just a great way to, make those connections, but it also shows up whenever you're more likely to see those posts. And then if you see something that's really great, say you're struggling with content and you're like, oh, I don't really know what to post today, you can go to one of those pages and share one of those posts to your business page. And since it's a really credible source, it works out. I will say, of course, try to share from credible sources. Very important.
Absolutely. I feel like we overthink our content, and you don't have to create new all the time. Like, I think it's really important that we understand when we share links on our Facebook page, Facebook doesn't like that. They don't like when you share links that take them to other places. So one thing that you can do is look at, the NAR, or we can go to Keeping Current Matters, or you can go to, a different real estate website that's giving you content. And then you can repurpose that content either like through a photo, or if you're just sharing your own kind of opinion on things and creating your own photo, that would be huge. But really kind of reducing the amount of links that you're sharing. So if you are sharing a new property or, a just closed or just sold, I would not share links in that space. I would just share maybe a couple of photos of the home, or a photo of you at the closing table, and a little bit of information in a story in your caption about it. And then if people want more information, they can include that at the bottom. So always having that call to action, asking for them to leave any questions that they might have. But if you're continuously sharing outside links to your Facebook page, Facebook hates that. They literally hate it. And they're like, we're not going to ever show your stuff to anybody because you're trying to direct people off of our website. So the whole goal is to keep them on your page and on Facebook, so that Facebook says, oh, we like this person. They're sharing relevant content. People are reading it and staying on Facebook. So that's kind of the key and the goal when you're sharing posts.
Yeah, and I mean, Facebook's favorite form of I guess post type right now is definitely video and then photo. And then even sometimes it prefers photos with to the point text, it doesn't like it when it's wordy. It can sense that. So if you share a flyer that's literally, I flash back to my days in newspaper whenever I did auction ads, and it was literally just a Word document. That was the ad. It was a whole, that would not do very well on the Facebook algorithm.
Nope.
And then after that, like a lot lower is links. Links can have their time and place, but it's really important to use dynamic post types to really
100%.
plan out your calendar to make sure that you're touching all the bases you should be. And I mean, if you're not in video, you should definitely work on that.
Totally. Well, and I think like links, if you're going to share a link to an article or something relevant, giving your opinion on it is great. But if I would say if you're going to share links, 1 in every 10 posts can be a link, and that's the max. So 10% of your shares should be a link. But it really just depends on the information that you're sharing, and there's ways to get creative. So if you have questions about content, sharing for your business or your personal page, reach out to Caitlin. She's phenomenal. The ladies at Universal are really good at sharing diverse content. They're going to share really relevant posts about title. They're also going to share internal kind of culture, which I love because it shows personality. And they're also going to share like classes that they're hosting and things that they're doing. So if you need a really great example of a business doing it right, Universal is also a great example of that. So definitely go to their Facebook page, check it out. And if you have questions, sit down with Caitlin. She has that plan in place. She can show you what she does for their plan, how she finds content, how she decides what to share, how she changes it up, and really kind of put that plan in place for your specific business. So thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you in a few weeks for the next one. And I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Great
Awesome.
info. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day and stay safe out there if the weather's crazy.
Yeah, you too.
Drive safe.
Bye,
stay
ladies.
warm.
See ya.